van got out. Is that still on?
Yes.
Go ahead and turn it off.
Turn it off.
After 5 months, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, the MBI, finally released the results of their investigation, their complete investigation. And along with it, they released a heavily edited body cam and dash cam video footage of Gulfport police officer Kenneth Nassar murdering Jaheim McMillan. What this investigation does is it confirms that Jaheim McMillan posed no threat to that officer, and it confirms that there's a mass cover-up. And what's so sad about it is that it's such a joke of an investigation that they don't care. In Mississippi, this is how things are. There's an order of things. Attorney General Lynn Fitch said, we won't be revisiting this anymore. That's it. There won't be any justice for Jaheim McMillan or his family. It's a damn shame. Let's talk about this 100-page investigation in the body cam and dash cam. The investigation starts out with the 911 call. Remember how Police Chief Adam Cooper said they were getting multiple reports of teens waving guns at passing by motorists, pointing guns at motorists, he said at a press conference? The investigative report releases a 911 call. A 911 call that reads, they viewed a passenger in the back seat of the car in the Kia Soul, that they saw that a passenger in the car had a firearm. One 911 call. It then says in that report that the Kia was chasing them and they had to run red lights to get away from it. Out of nowhere. Next sentence it says, at some point, the car's reversed position. So now the Chevy Volt was in pursuit of the Kia, which this makes more sense to what the Gulfport 4 have been saying, is that they were threatened by another car. But it seems the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation was trying to prove one point, and that's the only thing that white people need to hear. The only thing, especially that the white people of the state of Mississippi hear, is that there were some black boys with guns. It proves that. Pretty good. This 100-page report is spent the whole time talking about how some guns were stolen, and like Adam Cooper says in that press conference, there were guns recovered at the scene. And if you'll remember back to that press conference, Adam Cooper talks about every gun that was found, but he never said one was found with Jaheim. Well, there's a reason he didn't want to lie on that. It's because there wasn't a gun found with Jaheim. The body cam proves that. The dash cam proves that. What's also interesting is how this investigation covers so much, but yet, like the body cam, the edited parts that were taken out with no explanation. There's so many things that the investigation did not touch on or did not cover or just left out. They've moved the goalpost, but basically, if you've got a black boy or black boys with guns, that's a justified shooting? It doesn't work that way. There's reasons why Adam Cooper said he pointed a gun at Officer Nassar. But even in the tape, Officer Nassar doesn't say that. There's no police reports in the investigation. In the MBI investigation, no witnesses from the scene were interviewed. All they use are statements from the Gulfport 4 who were locked up for over a week without being able to see an attorney or their mothers. So all statements made by them should be thrown out. You can't do that to adults, much less kids. So they have comments like, Jaheim's crazy, he could have pointed that gun. One of them says, no, he wouldn't point a gun at the officer. This investigation is a joke, and this is no laughing matter. This is a 15-year-old child, and if you're gonna wait 5 months to release the investigation results, to not show any body cam, you better have a damn good reason why. But all we saw was a damn good reason why they didn't want to release anything, because they didn't have it. In the body cam, in the dash cam, they spent extra time with Jaheim jumping out of the car. They do freeze frames, they do slow motion, and you can see what looks like a gun. Probably is a gun. I assume Jaheim had a gun there. That's not what this is about. This is about whether or not an officer was justified in shooting and killing a 15-year-old. So Jaheim gets out. He runs to the left at Family Dollar, where he's met by a police officer. This police officer has his guns drawn. For some reason, he didn't see Jaheim McMillan as a threat there. So Jaheim McMillan turns around and is fleeing that officer. It is not okay to shoot and kill a person fleeing, especially a child. So when he's fleeing the other way, we've got Officer Kenneth Nassar jumping out of his car, immediately yelling all the things a cop needs to say. Gulfport police! Drop it, drop it, drop it! Blasting is gonna 8 times. First shot hits Jaheim McMillan in the back of the head. It seems as though Jaheim was trying to turn around and go the other way on him too. He does not say that he was pointed at him. When they go to the body cam, next to a lifeless Jaheim McMillan, where no concern for his well-being, for his life was given. His life did not matter to those police. The only thing that mattered about that life was that they ended it. And he did. He lifts up the body. He can't find a gun. Right there on the body cam. Other officer walks up. Nassar saying, I saw a gun, I saw a gun, I saw a gun. He had a 46 in his hand. He had a fucking 46 in his hand. I saw it, I saw it. Well, he was distraught right there because he couldn't find a gun. The other officer says, well, did you find the gun? He goes, no, I rolled his body over. I can't find the gun.
Yeah, I saw 46 in hand. I told him to drop it in. Drop it. Okay. We have it? I rolled him, I didn't see it underneath him.
That right there. Jaheim McMillan did not have a gun. He posed no threat to that officer, and that officer shot and murdered him. So I can't find a gun. With all this body cam, you can see it in some of my short videos that I did. They'll jump from 14:03 to 14:19. Well, there's 16 seconds right there. If you're gonna release a body cam for transparency, don't you think you would release what's in it? I wonder what they took out there. I wonder what they took out. So this body cam, heavy edited, including media sources that are real kind to the police. Throw in those key words. Officer felt threatened for his life. Nassar says in his report of the FBI on why he didn't use less force, just because he thought Jaheim had a gun. You can just see it. Jaheim's turning. He can't say if he sees a gun or not then. Because he can't. You can't. Those freeze frames of Jaheim McMillan at the beginning, when they zero in what looks like a gun, by the time Officer Nassar starts shooting his gun, you can't see a gun in his hand anymore. Like the other teens threw their gun. If Jaheim had a gun, I bet he threw it, because it sure isn't there. Where is the fucking gun? He better have a gun if you shot and killed him. Well, he didn't, and nobody seems to care. So they end. We have more body cam that comes up, and there's a supervisor or something talking. He says something real jumbled, like, not a damn gun in the... Then he goes, is that still on? And he's pointing at the body cam. He said, yes, it is. He goes, turn it off. He's looking around to make sure no one is looking, and he says, turn it off.
Go ahead and turn it off. Turn it off.
Boop. What a great time to turn off the body cam. We haven't found a gun. In the report, all you get's one sentence about it. Officer Nassar said he was later told that McMillan's gun was found in the parking lot. Why isn't there any information about that? What officer found his gun? Where was it? That's why witnesses at the scene said he was unarmed, because he was. Jaheim McMillan was unarmed and the body cam confirms it. What's left out of the investigation? The white man. But you can hear in the body cam and dash cam, he said, "You better have good intent. You just killed that child. He did not have a gun." You know what Nassar says to him? "Step the fuck away. Get the fuck out of here." And that's what they wanted to do with everybody who knew the truth. You know what you also hear in the body cam? Is one of the Gulfport 4 saying, "Will you please go check on him? I think he's dead." There's never any concern for that child's life. Ever. It was 20 minutes before any paramedics got there. And while he's looking for that gun, he also says in the report, it's commonplace for us to handcuff a suspect in case they have additional weapons. Well, it says he was looking for additional weapons. Pretty interesting to say additional weapons when you can't find the one weapon. So you release a body cam and an investigation. Investigation spends time and time talking about where the guns came from. They were stolen. The person didn't even realize they were gone till days later. Does a pretty good job of confirming that there were black boys with guns. That's not a death sentence. That's not a death sentence at all. So many people wanting to justify the police use of force and the police killing him. He had a gun. He had a gun. Well, at some point he did have a gun. The other witnesses, the Gulfport 4, say that the other guy had a gun and they were fearing for their life. Did they ever track down that white man who made the 911 call? If he had a gun, are they supposed to ambush him and shoot and kill him? Nope. In this country, in the South, in Mississippi, especially in Mississippi, you've got a black boy with a gun, and when Officer Nassar pulled into that parking lot, he was about to get him one, and he got 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan. They kept the tape for that long, 5 months. They spent all that time showing Jaheim getting out of the car and then circling something that looks like a gun. Again, probably was a gun, but like that first officer, didn't feel threatened for his life. Jaheim and Nassar's coming in from another angle. And he's just saying, "Drop it, drop it." His first shot drops Jaheim. And instead of getting over there and seeing if he's okay or anything like that, he rails off another 7 rounds at him. Didn't hit him with any of those other ones. This investigation confirmed that Jaheim McMillan did not pose a threat. It confirms a cover-up. Police lie to justify when a 15-year-old little boy died. Yo, Dre, got something to say. For Jaheim McMillan to rest in power, for there to be any sort of justice, we need to make this bigger than Jaheim. We need to fight for the people of Mississippi, for the black people of Mississippi. And we've got to go to the top. We've got to go to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. I've looked at other cases and all the reports. There's a reason why they don't ever charge officers in the deaths of the people they shoot and kill or that die in their custody. It's because they never question the witnesses. They never talk to the parents of the people killed. It's an attack on the whole family, on the whole black community. This is how they do it. They get away with it every time. And you know now, the House bill in Jackson, they want to not let the people pick their own judges and prosecutors. They'll let the white people take care of that. So what we've got to do as organizers, as activists, is get some macro level change and go more to the top The feds are investigating the police string of deaths in Rankin County, Mississippi. That's right north of Harrison County, Mississippi, where Gulfport is. Talked to the mother of Damian Cameron, Monica Cameron. Just like the NBA had never talked to her about her son's death, the feds have never talked to her either. That was as of a week ago. Perhaps that's changed, but they put that child on trial. The child can't fight for himself or speak up for himself anymore. They spent that whole investigative report talking about how they had guns, all those things they said, pointing guns at motorists everywhere, waving guns at passing by motorists, multiple reports. One 911 call is all it took for that cop to get out of his car. Guns ablazing, shooting and killing Jaheim McMillan. Yo, Dre, that's something to say.
Say his name!
Jaheim!
Say his name!
Jaheim!
Say his name!
Jaheim!
No justice!